Hey, Mark and Ellen. So I am at Sky Harbor Airport right now. This is kind of interesting because we are walking baggage claim right now in Terminal 4, and there is nobody here. There may be like 10 people sitting on some chairs waiting to get picked up, but it is just deserted right now. So when that dust storm came in, I was up at the top of the parking garage. And as you know, we get a great view up on top of that parking garage. That dust storm was the biggest dust storm I have ever seen since I've been here. Lucky me, I got to stay in the car, but my photographer, Mitch, I'm going to bring him in just a second. He had to stand out there with his camera. Now, that billow of dust was just coming at us, and all of a sudden it was orange, then it turned black, then it ended up turning a little blue. There were a lot of colors going on. I was sitting in the car was shaking.
Wow.
It was a little scary. Right in front of me there was a license plate, and their license plate said Chase Weather. So I was out with everyone who was chasing weather. I'm sitting in the car, the car is rocking back and forth. I'm hearing screams, so I'm getting a little nervous because I thought someone was injured, but I think these storm chasers were just really excited about the weather. Then rain started pouring. It was something. What do you think, Mitch?
Yeah, it was. So I'm actually not from this area. This is my first dust storm, and it was just, you had this ominous cloud coming at you, and then before you know it, you're inside of it. It's just like, it's like almost like you're in a movie or something. It was just dust everywhere and just blowing super, super, super hard. I wasn't expecting the wind to be so crazy, but it was definitely blowing really hard. At times, the camera was kind of blowing. It was on the tripod, but it was kind of blowing up, and I had to hold it down. Just very insane.
When that wind started picking up, I saw everyone running into their cars. So I was waiting for Mitch to come in the car, but no, he stood out there. He was a trooper, so we could have that shot for the live newscast. But he got some great video of that dust storm rolling in, so we'll have to post that on our social media, on Facebook and on our website.
Mitch, describe for us.
Today. He's drenched in water and in some rain, but he's a trooper.
Yeah, Mitch, describe for us what that was like when you were in that dust storm as it rolled over you. What did you feel? Was it gritty, sand? Could you see?
It was just dark. It's almost like just lights went out. On top of the parking garage, the lights were flickering, and it was so dark and scary. I've never been in that situation before. So I was actually in the middle of doing a Zoom the lights were flickering, and it was so dark and scary. I've never been in that situation before. So I was actually in the middle of doing a Zoom for another story, and I'm trying to pay attention to this Zoom interviewee, and I'm just seeing this black go over me, and I can see on my screen that you can barely see me in the Zoom because of how dark it got. But maybe
it's like being in like a blizzard or something, but obviously it's sand. So I've witnessed a lot of blizzards, and that's kind of what it was like. It was just a lot darker because it's sand blocking out the sun and everything.
Mitch, what did it feel like out there?
I mean, you could feel the grains of sand like pelting you in the face and stuff like that. And I kind of had to just turn away and cover my face as best I could to not breathe anything in, and start to, I felt like I was getting sandblasted out there almost, essentially. So.
Well, the most important thing, Mitch, is that you got the video. You got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what all matters, right?
And so
he did what he had to do for the video. He got it.
And so we will see it. We're hoping that we can get our newscast up again eventually, at 9 and 10. But obviously, we'll be able to show that. You guys can put that up on social too.
Yeah.
Have you? I don't know, Mitch. Like, I know you're basically from kind of the Maryland area, but have you been able to let your family know, hey, this is what was going on today?
Not yet. I'm very excited to. Well, excited and cautious to send my parents what I was just inside of, but I'm sure they'll think it's, very interesting and cool. It's not something you see on the East Coast, that's for sure.
What Mitch doesn't know is I took a picture of him while he was out there, so I will show him that right after we get off the phone, and he can send that to his parents.
Yeah, and real quick, Lindsay, you mentioned you were in the airport, and it was, you kind of said it was sort of like a ghost town in there. Do you know if people just, their flights were canceled, or did they just leave the airport?
So we actually just got to the baggage claim area, and we're going to try to figure that out for you. I don't know if you heard it in the background, but the little buzzer just went off when bags start coming down. So maybe some people are going to be showing up here in a second. I'm not too sure what that's all about. But it is pretty empty here. What's unique is that we were driving, trying to find parking before we got to the parking structure, and there are just a line of taxis hanging out with each other because there's nothing else to do. They're usually, they're busy going. You don't see them just sitting at the airport, and there's about 20 of them just parked right now.
Yeah, we had, Lindsay, I don't know and what the numbers you have that Sky Harbor, and you probably are getting more updates than we are, but we had almost 200 flights delayed, and then about a 90-minute delay for anyone trying to still fly out. So that was just the update that we got from Sky Harbor. But again, I mean, if it's a ghost town there right now, I don't know if anyone's going to be flying out anytime soon.
I do.
Yeah, it really doesn't look like it. We'll go upstairs in a second to go check and see what that looks like. Maybe it looks slightly different. Maybe some people are waiting it out to see if their flight will actually take off. But down here at baggage claim, wow, this is really unique. I'll take a picture and we'll take video, and so this is something that we'll also share once we're back up and running.
And Lindsay, what's your Instagram if people want to find that and take a look at that picture?
Yes, at Lindsay Regas on Twitter, on Instagram, and I'll even put it on my Facebook. Everything's the same, at Lindsay Regas.
Okay, Lindsay and Mitch from Sky Harbor, thanks for the description out there and for going through that dust storm for us tonight.
Wow.
We'll look forward to your coverage coming up tonight on Fox 10 and as we're streaming as well. So we'll let you guys get back to work. Thanks again for checking in with us.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, so you're looking live right now at Tempe, and the sun has set. And as we said, the storm has gone through, and it looks much more peaceful
now. But we have been seeing some lightning strikes out there from that Tempe camp, so still some lightning in the air. And the storm's not done. I mean, for us here in the valley, it is.
It's moving. It's moving northwest.
Erica's been tracking it to the northwest. Now's a good time to check back in with Erica, in fact, to see what's going on with that radar.
Yeah, let's get a look at what's going on. So things have continued to quiet down. That rain is becoming less concentrated with the heavy storms, and now it's a bit more widespread with lighter rainfall and lighter winds. So we're seeing, that nice trend toward less severe weather across the valley, but things are still going up in Black Canyon City. We have a dust storm warning that was issued for Black Canyon City area, and it's likely that you guys already saw a lot of that dust come through. 7:15 this will end, and that was for that thick wall of dust that was expected to make it all the way this far north, which is just extremely rare and wild. There is also the dust storm advisory that is still in effect, but it's going to be coming to an end soon for the 303, and that will expire at 7:15. So in about 8 minutes from now, we've already seen the worst of the dust. We've seen the worst of the wind with those storms, and things are, like I mentioned, lightening up. And there also was a special weather statement up near Prescott to tell you about, near Wilhoit, but it looks like that's been weakening as well. So you guys are just going to be seeing some heavier storms. Here's that storm in Black Canyon City bringing a ton of lightning. And over the West Valley, there's not as much going on. We have 2 cells that have some heavier downpours within them that we can get a check on. And we're going to be finding that up in the Peoria area and kind of North Glendale. We're seeing that along Bell Road and Greenway Road between 67th Ave and 75th Ave with the heaviest rain and just a little bit of lightning. It's really not that intense anymore. We're also seeing another heavy cell that's going to be closer to Avondale, Litchfield Park. We're seeing the heaviest of that rain from around I-10 up to around Glendale Avenue, and between between the roads of, let's see, El Mirage and that looks like 107th Ave. So you guys are seeing that heavier rain right now, and that's going to keep pushing westward. There is a little bit more lightning on that cell as it moves west, but otherwise just lighter rain for a lot of us in the valley. You can see some isolated storms further out west. Those are way out over the White Tank Mountains at this time, so they're going to keep moving and bringing some rain closer and closer to Wickenburg by the looks of it. You guys will see some light to moderate rainfall in Wickenburg, but here's a wide look at the valley. Now, this is pretty amazing. We have more rain moving in from the south. Look at how widespread this rain is. It goes all the way from Phoenix down to Maricopa. We're still seeing some heavier rain. It looks like possible near Casa Grande and north of there toward Queen Creek. That could also be a bit of a radar glitch, but it looks like the end of this rainfall is going to be right about here, and once this whole mass of rain makes it northward through our area, then we will end up seeing some breaks in the rain. So I don't think that we're going to be seeing this rain too far past, maybe the 9 or 10 o'clock hour. I think things are going to be calming down by then. There still are some showers way out to the southwest near Ajo, but it looks like those are going to move northwest and kind of miss the valley. And there are also a bunch of storms in the mountains of Arizona up north, which we've been not able to get to because we've had so much severe weather hitting our big population here across the valley. But you guys are just seeing some regular old thunderstorms with light to heavy rainfall and some lightning. So things are definitely winding down here in the valley, and a look at those wind gusts tells the same exact story. Our maximum winds at this time are up to around 35 to 36 miles per hour in the West Valley from Glendale to Goodyear, and on the east side of the valley, we're seeing those winds up to around 33 miles per hour. You can see that even at Sky Harbor, we don't have any major wind gusts at this time. So that is good news. And with that, the visibility is also improving, and the lowest number we're seeing here is 5 miles at Glendale. Otherwise, 9 to 10 miles, it signifies kind of the best that we can be seeing at this time. Obviously not like a clear day, but 10 is the peak number that we can get. So visibility has returned to normal for most of the valley. And a couple of rainfall totals that have been coming in across the valley looking really impressive. So the storm as it passed through central Phoenix coming in with almost an inch of rainfall and even half an inch in Mesa. So we're loving to see all of that rain, guys.
Wow. Quite some totals, that is for sure. We knew we were going to get a lot as we started having that rain pouring down, especially here in central Phoenix. We saw that almost an inch of rain.
Yeah, no complaints at my house. I was looking at my Ring camera, and the rain is still continuing to come down, so we like that,
Yeah, we do. I'm worried about my umbrellas. I had them in the backyard. I forgot to take them down. I'm hoping they're home or at the house when I get there.
I know.
Ended up in a neighbor's yard.
There was kind of a funny Instagram video that I saw where there was like one of those sharks, the pool sharks. And it flew over into someone's yard, and it was like, it finally got the courage to live its best life.
Like the Free Willy movie.
Yeah, it was like it literally was like the Free Willy movie. But we're gonna have so many things, probably, trampolines and whatnot.
Yeah.
So just be careful. We're seeing again some great video here, and we want you to continue to share your videos, your photos with us, and you can do that by just scanning that QR code, the top right of your screen. We really appreciate it because you guys are the eyes in our community really all across the metro area, so we appreciate it, and some of the stuff you're sending in is just absolutely fantastic.
Hey, Corey McCloskey joining us now in studio. Corey, you were outside earlier today doing some live shots when all this stuff started rolling through. Tell us what you saw out there.
Pretty exciting. Well, thanks to Erica for I don't know, 17 straight hours. This is like being on the air in Miami when there's a hurricane pushing in. She's been working very hard and, of course, doing a great job. As we take the wide look here, you can see much of the state is covered by, moderate to heavy rainfall at times. And last night I was in substituting for, was I in last night, Erica? No, it was Saturday night.
Sunday night.
What's today? Yeah, I was in Saturday, and we were talking then about how Monday could be our break-free day when weather could start moving its way northward out of Mexico right around the dinner hour, and sure enough, that is what has happened. So we'll bring you in close. I know if you're just joining us, you may not have seen the radar to this point, but here you see if you're up in the mountains, you've got plenty to look at, and this is not an uncommon sight, of course, if you're in the Rim Country or up into the White Mountains or anywhere up toward Flagstaff. This is a pretty typical August day for you, and that's great. You can have all that you like because there's plenty more to come. We still have a couple of hours left, I think, before all of this is a thing of the past. However, we'll take a look at the wide look here at some of the watches and advisories that we've got here. First of all, this dust storm warning that includes the New River area up there around Black Canyon City and so forth. That warning is just about to expire as that wall of dust is pushing its way northward. However, within that wall of dust, we have some very heavy rainfall, and you can see it pushing its way right. I'm going to try to get that off of our screen here so you can actually catch the thunderstorms themselves. But let's see. Well, it does not. Oh, there we go. We'll pop these off. There you see Black Canyon City taking a bit of a beating right now as that weather continues to roll itself across the 17th. So heads up, Crown King. If you've never been to Crown King, that's that little burg to the north and west of Black Canyon City. And it's up here in the mountains. And boy, it's a thrill getting to Crown King, even on a dry day. But certainly it's going to be a busy time getting up that way. But you can see how this weather stretches all the way south along the 17. However, in the Midtown area, things have started to quiet down a bit, mostly light to moderate rainfall at the moment as this final wall, perhaps, of heavy rain continues to work its way into the West Valley. So we'll give you a quick tour here and show you who's getting what. If you're coming in or leaving the city on the 10, an especially heavy dose of weather here between Tolleson and Buckeye, right there around Avondale. And boy, you want to be careful. I was coming in from the Litchfield Park area about 20 minutes ago, and there is some ponding on I-10, and there was a semi right next to me. It threw up so much water, I went about 4 to 6 seconds without being able to see anything. Thankfully, I wasn't going very fast, but you really want to be extra cautious out there. There's a lot going on the freeways. We also have weather pushing its way over the White Tanks and making its way north and westward. So if you're out Wickenburg way, you haven't seen really much of this heavy weather yet, but it's coming your way. All of this weather has been moving in a northwesterly direction. So it looks like Wickenburg for sure. You're going to be catching something here before too long, and that's fine. We'll see the Hassayampa River beginning to run pretty well once all of that weather starts to, or all that water starts to roll down in there. Now I want to take you a little farther to the west. This is out toward Yuma, which earlier, Yuma and all of the county there, had seen some very heavy rainfall, and we have a big collection of flash flood warnings out this way, and this means just be cautious. All the washes are running there in west central Yuma County. We've got, this would be particularly affecting those areas that are prone to this kind of flooding. Yuma, Somerton, the Fortuna Foothills, Gadsden, San Luis, Arabi, and Blaisdell as well. And we can pop every one of these warnings up here. You can see they stretch all throughout the Yuma area and then on to the north and east of there. So just watch out for all of the usual spots. They will be running pretty hard. We'll bring you back now to the valley, and Erica was just mentioning a few minutes ago, this area around Casa Grande or Casa Grande, whichever you prefer, is showing some pretty good rainfall, and it continues to work its way off to the north and west. We'll kind of keep an eye on this little blob here because, as Erica mentioned, this might be a radar return that isn't as true as we hope, but this is what we're talking about right there where my arrow is pointing. So we'll see if that continues to work its way on to the north and west, but if it does, it'll be crawling right up the 10 and also up Route 238 there, which stretches from Casa Grande over toward Maricopa. Now, pretty rugged area, a lot of farmland down that way, but but if you're on the 10 between Casa Grande and Ahwatukee, you may be riding through some pretty heavy rainfall there as well. And just a reminder, we still do have this flood advisory out until 9 o'clock. All of the usual drainages and streams that feed into the Salt and the Gila rivers are certainly going to be filling up. So just keep that in mind. You really don't want your kids playing around in those washes if they're running, because boy, things can go badly pretty quickly. But again, the wider look shows just what we usually expect at this time of the year, although this has been pretty intense. But this is kind of a typical monsoon afternoon for us, and it's not that surprising to see all of that action up north. It just has been so surprising for us here in the valley because we've had so little of it this season. Let's take a trip up north here now. If you live anywhere north of I-40, you have showers that are moving in your direction. So western parts of Coconino and then Navajo and Apache counties, not much very heavy rainfall yet, but it does continue to work its way off to the north. As we get down here onto the Mogollon Plateau, from Snowflake all the way over toward Pine and Strawberry, we've got a pretty good collection of scattered showers, and especially this bunch here just south and west of Snowflake. So heads up, Heber, Overguard, McNary, etc. You've got weather that continues to work its way off into your direction. And we'll be on top of the radar as we roll through the rest of this evening. Lots to show, that's for sure. And we'll swing things over to you, Mark.
All right.
And
hey, Corey,
Alan.
so that the dust storm advisory and warning that was expected to expire at 7:15, those are expired now.
Correct.
All right. Okay, that's some good news.
Positive.
Yes. All right, let's check in now with Lindsay Regis over at Sky Harbor Airport. You were there, Lindsay, when this thing rolled through. We're kind of walking us through again. Tell us where you guys were. You're with photographer Mitch out there when this dust storm came through.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark and Ellen. Yeah, I am with Mitch right now. So we are in the parking structure. I want to show you what it looks like. We just saw a plane take off, so that's good news out here. There's a plane landing right here. Can you guys see that?
Yeah. Great job.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. So that plane is landing. Another plane just took off. So this is good news. It's still raining out here. It's not raining too bad, but I can show you, since we have the capability, Mitch, why don't we walk over and show them what we were talking about earlier about how empty it is right now at the airport. And it's just so crazy to me because I have never been at the airport when it is this empty. So I'm just going to take you over to baggage claim. We'll kind of show you everything we talked about earlier a few minutes ago.
And what terminal are you at, Lindsay?
We are in Terminal 4.
Okay.
And that's where everybody was
Terminal
watching
4,
that storm as it rolled in. You could really, I mean, almost just, you watched the whole thing. It went from day to night as that wall of dust rolled over Sky Harbor, causing all kinds of problems out there for the planes departing and arriving.
Yeah.
Get a ground stop out there.
Yeah, there were some storm chasers. Oh, it's kind of starting to break up a little bit, Lindsay. So I don't know if you'll be able to go in all the way or not.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, some
Okay,
storm chasers
so
from
I'll
like
just stay out here and
Marana
keep showing you
started
what
in
it looks like
Marana.
out
We're
there.
chasing the storm
And
all
then
the way
maybe
to Sky
another hit,
Harbor.
I can show you what the inside looks like. Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, we got you.
gotcha.
Can see you and
Okay,
hear you.
awesome. Yeah, so when that storm came in, first of all, we had the perfect shot. We saw it from a ways away, came right at us. Mitch braved the storm, was out there with his tripod and big camera, and got some great shots of it. I can't wait to show you guys that. I started posting on social media, so you can now see that on my Facebook, Instagram, and on X. And it came toward us. It rocked the car back and forth when I was sitting inside as I was doing a Zoom interview. Then after that, it started just pouring. It was
I'm
shaking.
looking at your,
The car was
I'm
shaking.
looking at your
It was
pictures now. Yeah,
pouring.
you guys were right in the middle of it.
Yes, we were. It was, then everything basically went dark. And I've never been in the middle of, a Haboob, a monsoon like this. I didn't know what to do. I thought Mitch was going to come in the car and, call it a day, maybe get video from the inside. Nope, he stayed out there and he got some great video. But at a certain point after it passed, and the whole sky, the entire sky is just full of dirt and just a solid dark dark, like orange, red, black, all mixed together. That's all you could see. So I don't even know what that view looked like. There you go. There's a plane landing right there. I don't know what that view looked like when it was over us and, you know, right on top of us going through, because it was such a interesting feel, like so interesting to see. It almost looked like maybe his I don't know, color levels were off, and that wasn't the case at all. Like, that is what it looked like outside.
It almost is somewhat reminiscent of being near a wildfire.
Right.
The haze and the orange, you know, when you're looking at the images, that's kind of what it's reminiscent of.
Right. And you have to be careful, too, of just breathing, and it can cause problems with lungs, and that's just, you know, some risks with the Haboob.
Yeah, the only good part about that, when you see that, you know it's coming, you know, and we were watching this thing for quite a long time from Skyfox, and a lot of people were posting all about it on social, so people, you know it's coming, and so hopefully if you're able to, you can get inside or get somewhere safe and you're not caught in the middle of it. But yeah, a lot of people were watching this roll in, and we were seeing some of this, especially in the South Valley when it first coming through, some of those neighborhoods, Chandler, Ahwatukee, I mean, just this gigantic wall approaching their backyards.
Yeah, it's almost like a hurricane.
Yeah.
We didn't have as much warning, of course, like a hurricane, but that's kind of what was happening. And then if you knew people in the Southeast Valley, then they were saying, oh my gosh, you know, get
that damage to that car there, a tree coming down on top of that vehicle in Chandler. And then on the right, we're seeing from Lindsay live. Thank you for providing this image for us. There's another plane landing at Sky Harbor. Looks to be another Southwest Airlines coming in for a landing. We had so many delays, both departures and arrivals, that weren't allowing either during the height of the storm. For good reason. You cannot be, the visibility is so low. Even the planes with these advanced radar systems still not wanting to come in, and all the wind and turbulence and things like that. They just waited it out. Some of them, again, we heard, did divert to other airports. Right,
Las Vegas and Ontario, California, right?
Yeah, and so they're getting back to normal slowly out there at Sky Harbor Airport. The rain really came through there as well. We were watching it, just like sheets of water on the taxiways and tarmacs out there.
Yeah, it was wild. I don't know, we don't really have an update yet. I haven't heard a recent update on power outages. 59,000 was the last one we had. So that's kind of what we have as of right now. But so far, I mean, it was like, it was 71,000 and then decreased to 59,000. So crews are out right now. They're trying to get power restored quickly.
And Lindsay, you were mentioning earlier you were going to try to get over to baggage claim to talk to any folks out there. Were you able to do that? I know we've been taking up some of your time here.
I haven't been able to do that, but we did get video. We went over to where all the taxis are, and we got video of that. We got video of how empty it is, but that's going to be our next stop. So we'll go back there and we'll show you what that looks like.
And how's Mitch? Is he with you right now? What's he up to?
Mitch,
yes. You doing okay, buddy?
So I want him to talk about how he was out there braving the storm, and he had, what, a shirt wrapped around your mouth and your nose?
Yeah. As fast as I could, so I grabbed a sweatshirt that I had in the car, and I just kind of wrapped it around my head, my face, and then
I'm having trouble hearing you a little bit, Mitch, but it sounded like he said he was wrapping the shirt around his head, which is smart, because you mentioned you don't want to breathe in that dust and debris, and it can cause all kinds of breathing problems.
Yeah. Well, congratulations surviving your first Haboob.
Dust storm.
Way to go.
All right, you guys.
You did a great job.
Thanks so much for talking to us, and also your videos that you've been posting on your social media. Great stuff out there from Sky Harbor Airport. We'll let you guys get back to work, Lindsay.
Of course. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
All right.
Yeah, they're saying they're getting back to normal out at Sky Harbor, but they were, well, they were saying 90-minute now for departures, right?
90-minute delay for departures, right? And nearly 200 flights were delayed. But, I mean, as Lindsay said, people might not even be showing up to the airport based on what happened.
Right, or checking ahead and deciding if you can go out a different time. If you have an option of going out tomorrow, rather than get there and be stuck at the airport, that might be what some people are doing. I know I have a friend who's flying in on a flight from an American Airlines flight from Dallas. They were delayed departure because of this, so they were on the ground out there. They just took off about 10 minutes ago, so their flight's been delayed about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's a lot of folks, you know, across the country, kind of the ripple effect of this happening when you have to shut down the airspace for something like this for quite a while. It does have that ripple effect that's slowly getting back up and running, as we've been seeing from Lindsay's images out there, the video of the flights landing again tonight.
What is nice about radar right now is that we're seeing a lot of green, and so we're getting some rain, which is the nice thing following this Haboob.
Yeah,
Obviously,
a lot of red earlier today.
Yes, we did.
On this radar.
A lot of warnings were popping up.
Yeah. So now, again, it's not everyone's out of the woods yet. You're looking up towards the Black Canyon City area. They're still getting some, quite a bit of rain up there as well. We were keeping an eye on that and the lightning strikes and the wind. But it is slowly making its way out of the area tonight. After quite an eventful sort of into the monsoon season, we really got a lot of rain today. A lot of people have been wanting the rain, that's for sure. We just got a big amount of it today, which is good.
Yes, we did. 52,000 outages. So just got an update from Graham, the producer.
So that's good to hear. We were at 71,000 when we started at the top of the hour. So slowly but surely they're getting that number taken care of. The crews were out really quickly getting a handle on this. We don't know if, again, there were a lot of, it could be lightning strikes to transformers, could be down power lines because of all the winds that we saw, combination of things. We typically see when we have a monsoon storm like this, especially this magnitude, we do have a lot of people without power. But we were mentioning at least we're getting cooler temperatures as a result of this. So if you are without AC, at least it's not something that's going to be terribly uncomfortable, at least not for the next few hours.
Okay, so Corey has a friend or acquaintance or somebody, Carrie Mathis from Surprise, and she apparently is in El Paso right now on one of those diverted planes. So we're trying to get her
Hey, Carrie, we're coming your way.
a phone. And here, Corey. Yeah, we can.
Corey, why don't you go ahead and talk to her? You got your mic on, too. You can just ask her.
Let's bring Corey's mic up, and then, Corey, you can interview Carrie.
Sure. I'm Carrie Mathis. She's from Surprise, but she's not in Surprise right now. Carrie, tell us your story tonight.
Hey, hi everybody. It looks like we're just getting ready to take off here. We've been staging in El Paso due to the storm.
Now, what was it? What did you hear from your pilot as you were trying to land here in Phoenix?
Well, the guy next to me actually said, "Hey, I think we're going the wrong way." I was kind of drowsy sleeping, and he's like, "Look, we're going the wrong way." And I noticed like the sun changing and us kind of circling. Yeah. So then all of a sudden, we just found out they might yell at me in a minute.
I understand. But we'll let you go in a second. How close were you to Phoenix when you were given the turnaround?
We just approached like Arizona.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we hope you'll get home before midnight. About to take off from El Paso.
Yes. Yes. Everybody on the plane seems pretty good. They seem okay.
Well, please take off your seatbelts, stand up, and yell to the entire plane that Fox 10 is pulling for you.
Okay.
All right.
Yelling at me now. I gotta go.
Have a good flight. Bye now.
Have a good.
All right. Well, that's my friend Carrie Mathis, who just called me a moment ago or texted me to say, hey, we're in El Paso. We should be home by now. But not surprising. I was out in Goodyear or in Litchfield Park when I was hearing all of you talking about the ground stop at Sky Harbor. So,
you know, a couple of years ago, I was on a plane coming back to Phoenix from Reno, and I knew there was a storm coming in, and I could kind of see in the distance, and I thought, oh, we're going to make it in. We're going to get there in time. We were, I mean, I don't know how close we were to touching down, and all of a sudden, engines up, and we're off going around again.
They were just about to get the parachutes out.
Yeah.
And if you really must get home.
They thought we were going to go to Tucson for a bit, but we ended up flying around and kind of got down at a decent time. But yeah, it sounds like she's on her way home, so that's good news.
Yep, good news for sure. We'll get all those folks back to Phoenix. And
I think we do have Nicole Christine right now. We've been trying to get to her for a little bit, and I think we got her on Zoom. Oh,
hey,
there you are, Nicole.
Hey, can you hear me and see me?
We got you, yes.
Okay, great. I'm going to turn this around. Okay, so we're in Tempe. We came here to an area, a neighborhood where we had heard that the power was out. So I am here. You can see across here. Let's turn this around for you guys. So you can see across the street, this row of homes and beyond into the neighborhood, no power, just like we were told. But we actually stopped over by this. It's SVOB Park, SVOB Park. It's right by a neighborhood. You can see some people out there in the background surveying the damage. You can see some, quite a few downed trees and limbs. Here, I'm going to walk over here a little bit around the park. We're saving the best for last here in terms of something really interesting we found. We've got this tree here, but then take a look over here. This is just in the middle of the park, and we now have a mini lake in the park. So this just shows you,
Wow.
in this area, I looked it up because we're like, is this just an overflowing lake that's supposed to be here? A little pond that they allow fishing, but it doesn't look on the map like this is any water. And you can see over here.
Well, we seem to have lost Nicole's signal there, but it looks like that's one of those neighborhood parks where they use them as a retention basin.
They do.
So it's the
and they
overflow
are
water,
effective.
and they work great. A couple years ago, there was one out in Mesa where it really saved the neighborhood from flooding, and so it was designed to do exactly what it did there. But Nicole was out earlier. They were south of the valley, I believe, near Santan, in a news vehicle driving, and they ended up. I think she's with Matt Rusnak today, a photographer. They had to pull over to ride it out because it was getting so dusty. I think we have Nicole back again. Nicole, let's check back in with you. We kind of lost her there for a second.
Yeah, I'll try and walk a little slower here. Yes, so that exactly what you were saying, Mark. It looks like this is just all come together, keeping it away from the homes, luckily. But you can see over here, I don't know how easy it is to see. I'm trying not to move to the phone too quickly, but right over there, that's a bench. So you can just tell several inches of water here that have accumulated near this park, and you could see the trees that were snapped, and of course across the street there are a lot of homes without power. So this is the scene in Tempe right now, as people kind of come out and survey the damage, hoping that not too many people have to deal with too severe property damage or anything like that. But this is what it looks like here at one of the local parks. And as you can tell, still continuing to rain pretty steady here. So
and
the
Nicole,
weather has not moved.
It's never fun folks in that neighborhood who may be without AC for at least a foreseeable future.
Yeah, so it doesn't feel too bad right now outside because you kind of have that rain that's tempering it. But as we know, sometimes after these storms come through, you can get some humidity, you can get that mugginess. And so that's really what we're hoping, is that people can get their power restored, so that maybe if tonight weather-wise and temperature-wise isn't too severe, then tomorrow when it heats up again, they aren't going to want to deal with that. And like you said, Mark, just in general, whenever you lose power and you're inconvenienced for a little while, that's bad enough. But then you've got on top of it that heat that we see a lot of the time. But right now it feels pretty inside. I mean, you've got that rain really tempering the temperatures, as you know. You said the 70s seemed like what was going to roll through. It feels pretty nice out there. A lot of people are actually kind of coming outside, checking things out. Here comes another family. I'm guessing this is a popular neighborhood park, so they're coming to check and
it might be nicer to be outside, to get some fresh air
too.
At this point, depending on how long they've been without power.
That, and I will say, I was talking about this with Matt, the photographer I'm working with today. We're both from Indiana, and I'll tell you what, as long as everybody's safe and you're okay, and there's nothing like coming out and hanging out in some rain puddles. Like there is an entertainment value. It looks like these folks over here are playing soccer in it. So, as long as you make sure everybody's okay and, take care of what you need to take care of, some people are out here enjoying the weather and the little break from the heat that they're getting, I think. So
Nicole,
we just want everybody to be safe, though, because
as you guys were driving into town, because you guys were pretty far out when that dust storm hit, AJ area, kind of Santan Valley area, but as you were starting to kind of make your way closer to town, to more populated areas like Tempe, for example, have you seen other areas where you have noticed damage, like what you're seeing now? Because, we had reports of winds as high as 60, 70 miles per hour where you were coming from, which is, pretty dramatic. Not as high in like Phoenix proper, but pretty high where you were coming from. So what kind of, just for eyes, you're our eyes for us, what kind of damage are you seeing?
So the most of the damage we saw is kind of similar to what we're seeing here, with some large branches down. We went into a neighborhood in the Chandler area where we had heard there was a tree that actually had fallen into a house. And the good news is when we got there, it seemed like, yes, the tree had kind of fallen into the property. It might have been up against the house a little bit, but it didn't seem like it had like damaged the house severely. And we tried to catch the homeowners. We couldn't get anyone. I don't think anyone was home yet, or had decided to hunker down for the rest of the storm. But the most we've seen are trees, like the one behind me, like what we're seeing. And we've seen some of that flooding that I talked about that you're seeing here in the park, but also other areas. We hadn't seen a ton of extreme, like wind damage to where there were huge things that were over. I would say mostly big trees that we've caught. But again, the weather really hasn't stopped at all. So we've been driving through the rain, we've been driving through continued wind. So it's almost hard to tell. And it'll probably be morning before we can really survey a lot of what has gone on, because right now the rain is no ending in sight. So at least what we could tell, mostly branches, large limbs, a few trees that had snapped, but not seeing, I'm going to turn this around too, like just kind of things like this that we've been seeing. And obviously this is not going to be an easy cleanup or a fun cleanup, but it looks like, I mean, walking through this park, it looks like for the most part things are okay here. Going to have to do a little bit of branch cleanup, but hoping that this is what we see throughout most of the valley, and that we aren't seeing any homes damaged, any cars that were lost, and certainly that everybody was safe. We were traveling along the highways quite a bit and saw a few cars. It looked like we passed one accident. Didn't look too severe, but you know, that's just another thing too, is this is the worst time to be out trying to commute, even now when the rain is going still, because these areas of flooding, you never know when they're going to pop up. So,
and Nicole, let's talk about that real quick, because you and Matt were out around, I believe, the 5 o'clock hour doing a driving live shot for us, and you guys decided to, I think it was a great choice, you decided to pull over on the side of the road. What was that like to be in it? And I know as a journalist you sometimes want to show us everything, but you guys made a choice to really kind of get to safety.
Yeah, we decided to practice what we preach, because as you said, you know, we want to be informing people, we want to show people the conditions. There is a little element of, you know, excitement for us as far as, you know, getting to be in the middle of what's happening, in the middle of the news. But we wanted to make sure that we weren't making it seem like, hey, it's okay to drive right now. Look, we're doing it. We're just doing it like this. It really needed to be a situation where we pulled over and gave an example of stopping, turning your lights off, and just waiting it out. And that's what we did. And we got, you know, great videos still to show people. We were able to, as you guys know, and as viewers that watched, we were able to bring you the latest information about it and show you the conditions, but we were able to do it in a way that we weren't nervous. We were far off the road, but then it started kind of getting a little flooded in the area we were. So we were like, okay, let's take off as soon as the rain's done, because again, what we think about is we think about that huge dust storm. That's obviously a big visual part of the day, but we still have a lot of this aftermath to get through, right?
So you had a lot of other drivers that were pulling over where you guys were then too, doing the same thing.
Yes. So we had a lot of smart drivers around us, a lot of people that continued on their commute, and I get it. I get that, you know, you're just a few blocks from home. You want to just try and do it, but I will tell you what, when we pulled over, I would say we probably had 5 minutes after we pulled over where we just started getting hit with that just overwhelming wall, and we looked at each other and we said, this was such a good decision. You know, we feel so safe here, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it, you know, to risk anyone's safety, to bring information necessarily. And so we made that call, and it was the right call, and we were still able to bring the latest conditions. But a lot of drivers around us are making the same decision, and I'm happy about that, because too often we tell of, you know, horror stories of what ends up happening when people don't follow those directions. So a lot of good drivers around today that were just pulling over and making that correct decision along with us.
Well, it was definitely the right call, because when we were looking at your camera as it was going, you know, through basically where you guys were, hitting your windshield, you made the right call, because I don't know how anyone frankly could drive through that.
No, and it was a good observational standpoint for us to be in to tell you what was going on, but we also felt safe, and that was important. But yeah, I mean, these things are no joke, and today obviously was one of the bigger ones, it sounds like, that we've seen in years. But even in the smaller dust storms, those can really pack a punch, and you just never want to underestimate this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Nicole Christine, Matt Rusnak, great work out there today. We'll see you at 9 o'clock. We'll let you get your story together.
Sure. Bye, guys.
Yeah, those conditions out there can be come upon you very quickly. Corey, let's check in with you now to see what you've got going on over there. I think you're looking at some radar activity.
Yeah, we've had rain, of course, plenty of it, and we've got some impressive rainfall totals out of these storms here in the middle of town in the central corridor. About an inch so far, and there's still more rain to come, I think, tonight. Stony Mountain, which you may not be familiar with, that's actually, it would be between, it's sort of a ridge between Piestewa Peak and, say, the Point Tapatio Resort there on 7th Street, kind of just a little bit west of the Dreamy Draw, but 0.8 of an inch there. About 0.6 in Chandler, about the same in Tempe. Boy, Nicole just can't get out from under that rain. I pulled some strings to see if we could keep a shower over her at all times, and so far it seems to be working. Mesa, there you see, with about 0.5 inch of rainfall. And the live look again, if you haven't checked in on radar. We appreciate all you folks streaming along with us tonight. There's plenty to see here in the center part of the valley. Things are starting to quiet down pretty well, although we still have some showers and kind of on the moderate side right in the center of town. The southeast valley is starting to quiet somewhat with a few drizzles. In fact, if you're down toward Queen Creek, the weather has started to really break up a bit. But we'll bring you in a little bit closer here and show you just who's getting wettest at the moment. If you're right downtown, well, you're on the edge of that flood advisory. And again, the rain is going to continue working its way in from southwest or southeast to northwest. So still some additional moderate rainfall to be had in the downtown area, but we can kind of follow these storms as they head out to the north and west. So plenty going on here in, say, Maryvale, and anywhere from, about Maryvale on out west towards Surprise, Youngtown, El Mirage, and so forth. And so it's going to be a long evening with plenty of rain out there. And it's nice. It's a real change of pace, that's for sure. It's been a while since we've seen a real soaker like this. If you are in Buckeye, wow, there's plenty to go around. Now, Buckeye covers, I don't know, 3 million square miles now. They keep adding territory to the city of Buckeye. But if you're kind of in the old town area, right downtown, that is, you're about to get a pretty good shower because this weather is moving its way towards you, and it's going to be coming right over the downtown region. So just be advised, if you're in the old part of Buckeye, there's lots of weather still to come within the next 15 or 20 minutes. Also, up around the White Tank Mountains, that would be just above the 10 that you see there along the freeway. Verrado is catching some rain all the way up, in fact, to the north side of the White Tanks on that Sun Valley Parkway up around Sun City Festival. You're catching showers also, and it continues to stretch its way off to the north and west. So far, Wickenburg hasn't seen anything too terribly heavy. However, you got a pretty good storm just to the east of town, and if that holds together, Wickenburg, you're going to see that rolling your way, although it looks like it may sort of graze you off to the north and east. So heads up, Congress and Yarnell, because that storm might eventually make its way toward you. And here's a pretty wicked one. If you live in Wilhoit, heads up, because you've already seen one strong shower pass just to the east of town, but this next one is headed in your direction. So if you live in Wilhoit, heads up, there's strong weather moving towards you. And if you live in Prescott, boy, oh boy, there is some wicked hard rain coming up just to the south of you. So Prescott, be on alert. I would get all of your patio furniture indoors if you can. Whatever might blow away, get to it right now, because you know, Senator Highway there is being hit very, very hard. And so the south side of Prescott especially is seeing this very heavy rain. It's just about to move into the courthouse square which would be, we might as well illustrate that for you here as well, right here in the center of town. And that's the courthouse right in the middle of your picture there. And you can see it's already getting pretty red there. So do be careful in Prescott. You've seen heavy weather before, but this is a pretty wicked storm. It's not outlined for a severe thunderstorm warning. However, there's still lots of heavy rain in there, vigorous lightning, perhaps even some small hail. I would say that is probably the strongest storm that we have going right now. If you're over in the rim country, there's weather in your neighborhood as well. It continues that sort of northwesterly trek. So the rim has already seen some strong storms, but now we've got heavier weather over here around CBQ and over toward Show Low. This storm is passing just north of CBQ. However, it's moving in that northwesterly direction. So they're at the junction of 288 and 260 around, I think that's around the Honda Casino. We may see some strong weather moving in that direction also. We'll take you up here on the road from Heber up toward Holbrook. That's Route 377. And it's not heavily traveled, but certainly folks use it if they need to get from those two towns from one to the other. This is a very intense storm, and it continues to roll its way off to the north and west. So eventually, if it holds together, Winslow, you want to keep your eye out, because it looks like it's generally moving in your direction. So we'll see if you Winslow, what do you call yourself if you live in Winslow?
Winslowians.
A Winslowian, not a Winslower. Yeah. If you live right there on the 40 in Winslow, you want to keep your eyes to those southeastern skies, because there's plenty more to see. And finally, we'll take you over here near Flagstaff, where things have been not quite as busy as other parts of the state, but we do have weather crossing the 40 now. So if you live in Loop or up toward Tuba City, you've got weather coming your way, because it looks like this is all going to hold together as it makes its way kind of east of Flagstaff, but generally heading in that northerly direction. So one more wide look here at the state before I swing things back to Mark and Ellen. And again, the heaviest weather just now moving its way into the northwestern part of the valley. And so you folks over there in La Paz County and Mojave County, Yuma as well, you want to keep your eyes out, especially in Mojave County, because you still have an hour or so of dry-ish weather, but it's all headed in your direction, you guys.
All right, thank you, Corey. Wanted to update the power outage situation. It keeps improving, so that is good news. 71,000 at the start of the 7 o'clock hour, down to about 46,000 people now. That's combining APS and SRP customers without power right now. So they're really making good progress on getting those people back up and running, so that is good news.
They are. Tempe, though, where Nicole is, that neighborhood's still out.
Yes.
And they obviously took a beating with not only damage, but also they continued to get hit with rain, too. And so that's something that we're going to kind of continue to follow. We are going to, I think, cycle through some more videos and photos that our viewers sent in, because they've just been phenomenal. And we thank y'all so much, because again, you're our eyes out there when some of our crews can't get to some of the specific neighborhoods that you're in. And this is in Arcadia.
Maxfield Smith sent this one in. That was a great shot. And then a shot of the lightning here in Phoenix and Mesa. This was from Alex Fanning in Scottsdale. That's another great shot. Boy, talk about timing on getting that one.
Yeah, and of course we had the rain and the lightning following the big dust storm. And if you do want to share your photos, your videos, all you got to do is scan that QR code to send it in. And Tempe, we talked about that neighborhood that Nicole was in, who was in Tempe, and you can see here the power lines exploding in Tempe, so that might take a little while to fix.
Yeah, we were wondering if the reason for the outages was either transformers going up like this one here, or power lines going down, a combination of all of the above, most likely, as those crews are out there trying to get these people back up and running as soon as they can. But it's going to be a bit of an effort. 48th and Ray and Ahwatukee looking to the east from Greg Goodsell. That is another amazing shot as that dust was rolling through. You know, Michael Binsky, who we talked about earlier, who took that iconic photo in July of 2011 that went all around the world. He posted one earlier today of this Haboob moving in, and his caption was, "I can't even."
Yeah.
Now, if it's impressing Michael Binsky,
Yeah.
you know that it's a big dust storm because
Yeah.
he's seen a lot of it.
Yeah, and if you lived here in 2011, this kind of reminds you of that storm.
It certainly was.
It's very similar.
It really was. I remember watching it in the newsroom, kind of like today, rolling in, Sky Fox again covering it. It looked exactly the same. I mean, we're talking miles wide and thousands of feet tall, heading toward you. You know, it is something that you just, it still kind of takes your breath away when you see these kind of storms moving through.
Just like that. So Michelle Dickinson in Maricopa, it's like you see that, you go, what am I supposed to do?
You're right.
The world is ending.
You just hope that you can get inside of a vehicle or a building and kind of stay safe for quite a while.
And that's, you know, tomorrow, we talked about that, the national networks, they're all going to be covering
absolutely.
this. And they're all going to say, are you kidding me? Why would anyone want to live there?
They're wondering,
this is crazy.
Yeah, they think that this is something that happens to us all the time. It just, when it does happen, it obviously is a huge story because it's so visual and it affects so many people. I mean, this is something that really affected tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people as that storm. And it's not done yet, as Corey was showing us, now heading up north.
Right. And the other thing, too, the difference between 2011 and now, 2025, more people have really nice cameras. They have really great phone cameras. They have, so it's like the access that we have now, where all you got to do is scan a little QR code with your smartphone and send us this phenomenal photo from Caroline. It's amazing.
And I think Mike really started something here because we are world famous now for weather spotters, storm chasers to come out here, especially monsoon season, to get what we just saw tonight. In fact, at the shot of Sky Harbor Airport, they were on top of the parking garage at Terminal 4. And there were a ton of influencers, social media folks streaming live of this dust storm rolling in. And a lot of them, you know, Lindsay was saying she could hear people screaming. It was like excitement because they finally got what they came here to see.
They did, yeah. And there were some storm chasers who had chased this all the way from near the Tucson area. So they were
they were in Marana.
In Marana, and then they stopped at Sky Harbor. That was kind of the stopping point for them, and they saw quite the show today.
Yeah, it paid off, that's for sure.
And Sky Harbor, the update now is that planes are landing, so that's the good news, and also able to take off. So the nearly 200 flights that were delayed, some of that is starting to kind of get back up and running again.
And we also heard earlier reports of fire alarm going off in the tower at Sky Harbor during the height of all of this. Still need to get information about what happened there, if it was related to this storm. Could have triggered, you know, the weather, could have triggered some sort of alarm in there, but they had to leave the tower for a short amount of time during all of this. So that also kind of made the problems even worse out there. But good to see that they are getting back to normal after quite a wild early evening.
Yeah, and just to kind of summarize what has been happening here, Fox 10, we took a power hit. We took a massive power hit, and we have been streaming our coverage because of that, and that has never happened here.
No, it's never happened here. Everything went dark right at the top of the 6 o'clock news. I was just getting ready to start the 6, and it was lights out. But we've been able to manage to cobble something here together, and thanks to all of you who are watching us. We're streaming. We're on multiple platforms here. And you know, we made it work. It's a new world here, but we have done it as best as we can with what we've got right now.
And we really appreciate, again, you guys sending in your videos and your photos. And so what we're going to be doing in the next couple of minutes at 8 o'clock, we are going to be going off the air, off streaming, off of YouTube. And then we are going to have our newscasts at 9 and 10 o'clock, like normal Fox 10 news at 9 and 10. And we're going to have all this incredible video of these storms and whatnot. And that's kind of the plan right now.
I'm going to run home and make sure my umbrellas are still in my backyard. Hoping
umbrellas,
for the best.
patio furniture, you know, make sure it hasn't hit your window or something as it was flying through the air. Maybe, should we check in with Corey just maybe before we go to break at 8 o'clock? I don't know if we can or not. Corey, is there any kind of update?
Got about a minute left.
Before, yeah, we have about a minute left.
Sure. Let me give folks an idea at home of what we can expect over the next, say, 48 hours. Here's the live look. This is where we stand now. And here's a quick look at our future cast. And again, this would be our current situation with the weather kind of moving itself north and west of the valley. The red bar at the top shows our timeline as we make our way toward, say 4 tomorrow morning. Everything should have cleared out from the valley. Still some lingering showers up north. And then as we move through the day tomorrow, here's a look at, say, midday with clouds and a few showers starting to build in the mountain parts of the state. And then we get on into the evening and late hours tomorrow. Could be a repeat scenario, not quite as heavy as what we've seen today, I don't think. But then we take you on into your Wednesday afternoon. We could see an additional round of showers. So we thought your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday would be big ones. And sure enough, we're certainly starting things off with a bang. So again, back out live now. We'll just give you a quick look at who's getting the heaviest weather. We now have an additional flash flood warning. This has just popped up, and this is just to the north and west of Lake Pleasant. It includes Lake Pleasant, but this warning is out until 11 o'clock. You can see that red area. It pushes itself up toward Castle Hot Springs. This would include Coles Bay, the Castle Creek Boat Ramp, Goose Bay, the Cottonwood Day Use area, and of course Humbug Bay around Lake Pleasant, and Crown King, which we mentioned earlier. So again, the washes are running hard. Please be careful out there. And Ellen and Mark will be back with lots more weather as the evening wears on.
Been quite the Monday, Corey.
Yeah, it has been.
Yeah, this is one of the most active ones I can remember in quite a while. That is for sure, Corey. Thank you for giving us those updates tonight, as again, it's been an incredibly active weather day for much of the state, that is for sure, and continues on into the evening.
Yeah, and it really started around 5 o'clock. I guess we kind of started tracking the storm. That's when it all started. And now looking over the Phoenix area, the Phoenix metro area, it looks really nice, that nice tower camera.
Yeah, looking calm out there tonight, but as we always do, tomorrow at the light of day, we may, our crews will be out and about. Skyfox will be up and surveying the damage. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot, as we mentioned, down trees. We had some of those winds that were upward of 60 miles an hour. That's going to topple trees and some awnings, and as we've seen just earlier last week, we saw that as well. Yeah,
last week trees were uprooted and we didn't hit 60, 70 miles an hour.
No,
so we did.
And it's been so dry that a lot of those roots are kind of they were already on shaky ground anyway, so then you get those winds whipping through like that. So cleanup crews are going to be busy tomorrow. You might want to allow yourself some extra time for the morning commute just in case.
No doubt.
Because you could encounter some downed trees and other debris out there on the roads.
We want to thank you so much for joining us for our coverage here of this monsoon. We really appreciate it.
And Fox 10 News will be back with more complete coverage of today's Haboob monsoon activity coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll see you then.